Okay now. Very, very carefully. Okay. Easy does it. Easy now. Oh! Yep. Okay. That'll do.
What the fuck?
Hey guys, welcome back to Borderlands 3. This is a loot update, I'm gonna call this. I'm just about through my first playthrough. I've made it to the end stage area. I won't say anything more than that because I don't want to spoil anything for those of you who may not have done your first playthrough yet. This is also kind of an update for the guide I came out with a little while ago with Amara, kind of an explosive base build. This is kind of an update on that. I'll put a card up there if you're interested in checking out that video and kind of what was the inspiration. I still want to do things with that build. It's kind of morphed into this one. Things I would need to kind of adapt this build to the previous build. I just don't have like the legendary shield and such, but I'm optimistic I'll be able to find that in the next playthrough. Once I get to the max level, I'm going to start looking for some of these things. But here's an update of what I've been doing with Amara so far, and it's been pretty overpowered, I have to admit. Was doing some testing with some bosses, seeing how much I could get up her damage, just straight up with guns. This is not an elemental build, this is not melee, this is just straight up guns. So it's just kind of a sort of an experiment to see how high I could get her damage, and I've just been using it as a regular build too. It works just as good against enemies as it does bosses. Pretty cool stuff, want to share it with you guys. So equipment wise, a lot of times I get inspired by things I come across. The previous build, if you haven't watched that video, was inspired by the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot shield. That was level 25, I think. I'm level 40 now. It's not cutting it. I mean, I had to get rid of that a while back. Kind of in the spirit of that build, I was using a specific type of torque shotgun, the kind that just shoots one projectile that does massive amounts of damage. I wanted to see if I could find, I had seen this Anointed type specialty before where after using Phaseslam you get extra weapon damage. I've seen it with action skill too, but the action skill bonus is only 250%. And I didn't particularly like the guns I was seeing on it, so I went with this one instead with the plus 300% damage, which is essentially buffing this gun to 3,000, damage after you use Phaseslam. So not too shabby off the bat, and obviously do better, but I thought that was a good starting point, at least to have a 3,000 base damage. So I bought this from the machine from Earl. Was just kind of farming it, seeing what I could find. What would be nice with this build is to see if I could find something that isn't a torque shotgun that has this particular perk on this gun, this Anointed perk. Just it's not available on a lot of other guns at all. I might be kind of stuck with this, but still need to do some more farming, see what else is out there. But we're starting with this 3,000 base damage. It's got the great splash damage, which if you watched my previous build, that was kind of what all that build is about, and this one carries that forward. So that's kind of base. We've got Phaseslam, so we're going to be using Phaseslam with our build, obviously, so we can activate that. That's the main one. I mean, I've got some other things here where these are just kind of placeholders. The main thing I'm using is this one. This is what the build relies upon. For a shield, this is something that obviously probably could be better. I'm just rolling with this right now as this is what I found. This one gives, I kind of go back and forth with the shields I use, but I've been rocking this one for now because it's got a super good low recharge delay. It's like a shield that buffs your first shot of your gun. They were in Borderlands 2. They were really nice. You had like the B shield. I'm hoping that's in the game, a legendary shield, but we've got this, and what's nice is it recharges really fast, so you can utilize this bonus, which is that when the shield's full, you drain 30% of your shields for 20% extra weapon damage. So that's fantastic. That gives 20 extra percent. So that's like an extra 600 damage from 3,000 if I'm doing my math right. But regardless, it's better than 0, which is what you would get if you had a different shield on. So this could definitely be better, but this is what I'm rocking right now. So that helps. That boost our damage more. This is the class mod I'm using. Before, in the other video, I lamented I didn't have a very good class mod. I did find some others that were better suited for that particular build. This is what I'm rocking right now. Of course, this could be better. These bonuses I'm not even taking advantage of really that much at all. Basically, the reason why I'm using this is because it buffs Wraith. And ideally, when we get to the perks, I'll go into this a little bit more. But ideally, I would want Wrath. Ideally, I would want Wrath and a few other perks, so I'm constantly checking for new class mods and such. So hopefully I can get one of those. But I've come close, but I haven't quite found what I'm looking for, and I'll go into that more when I get into the perk skill. That's what we got there. Grenade, just standard legendary type grenade I just got. I transfer that out with a particular grenade I got, which gives back health as well as shields. That's pretty handy. Buffs the shield so I can get the 20% extra weapon damage quicker, and then just health, you know, if we're in a bit of a sticky spot. But this Iridian Relic right now been using this mostly just because it gives regeneration for health and shield recharge rate. I haven't come across anything that gives a buff to, say, shotguns or anything else, so that's just what I'm using for now. So as you can see, equipment wise, I mean, this is the main thing right here, but and then this shield, but a lot of things could be better. This is not, you know, a comprehensive build guide right now. It's just kind of an update and share with you guys kind of what I've been doing, different ways you can play Amara, because everything out there I see is just melee elemental base, which is great. I mean, but I like some variety. You know, variety is the spice of life. So yeah, this is what it's based off around. So then let's get into the perks that make this build really come together. Okay, so to start, we've got personal space. Max that out so we get bonus damage of up to 36% damage dealt. That's super important because that's a huge buff. Ideally, this is one of the skills I would love to have buffed on my class mod. I would like to have this buffed by, say, 2. The purple rarity, epic rarity class mods, from what I see, give about 5 bonuses to your perks. So it'd be really great is maybe 2 for this, 2 for Wrath, and then 1 for something else. Or, you know, I'm not sure what legendaries typically do. I've only seen a couple. Yeah, this would be great to have this buff. So this is important. We've got the splash damage, of course. That just helps increase the effectiveness because I'm using a torque shotgun. Everything else is just kind of discretionary for me. I like to have some health regeneration, some damage reduction, and then I like to have some shield regeneration. I'm going to be putting more skill points into this as I, you know, go from 40 to 50. So this was kind of secondary. The main tree is over here, but I did want to at least point out personal space because that is important for that extra bit of damage. So here, mainly we just wanted to get down to a couple perks down here. So in this first kind of part here, I just have reload speed. That's nice to have for the torque shotgun. But not super critical. We really want this one right here. This wouldn't be a bad one to buff to, honestly, because this increases your critical hit damage for a few seconds after activating your action skill. So remember, we're using Phaseslam because the torque shotgun gets the 300% damage bonus when we activate Phaseslam. So that's going to 3,000. We get the bonus 20% weapon damage from our shield. And then we're getting the bonus for hitting someone in the critical area. So if we hit them in the head or just whatever their critical hit area is, we get that bonus, which I'm unsure off the top of my head what that modifier is. I'm sure if you guys know, let me know in the comments. It's definitely really high because it really ups your damage. So this just increases that even more. So if I could get like a +2 or something, a class mod that buffed this by 2, I don't know. There's been some some class mods I've seen that have like +4 for a single perk. That'd be pretty insane just to try, you know, put +4 on this, so max out to 7, because it's already at plus 27%. So you can do the math. It increases it by about 9% per, there's only 3, you know, so it increases about 9%. So 9 times 7, that's pretty damn high. So that'd be kind of interesting to experiment with. Another perk, not essential for the damage, but just kind of nice to have the cooldown rate. Restless here, it's buffed by 2 and I maxed it out, so I get 7 because we need to use Phaseslam as much as possible so we can get the extra damage output, and that has a cooldown of 35 seconds. That's pretty long, so we reduce it by 35%, just kind of a quality of life, and it just helps you output more damage, you know, per minute, I guess, if you want to say, because instead of spending 35 seconds between when you can get all these bonuses that we're going to be getting, you know, it's a lot less. So that's kind of nice to have. And I just got this one for just some of the quality of life perks that it gives. Down here, then we have Wrath. This sucker is great. This will get activated along with the bonus damage that our weapon gets after we use Phaseslam, because this one gives Amara increased gun damage, so plus 33%, because I've got a class mod that modifies it by 2, and then I max it out, so we're at 5 altogether. So plus 33% gun damage, as you can see, and then you get another plus 33% after the action skill use, and it lasts for 8 seconds. So within 8 seconds after using our Phaseslam, we're getting the bonus from the shotgun, we're getting the critical hit damage bonus here, and then we're getting a massive amount of gun damage here. Things start to pile up a bit. Finally, then we have Laid Bare. I have this maxed out as well. This wouldn't be something, you know, terrible to have a class mod that buffs, you know. I mean, you know, legendary class mods, say if they buffed like 4 or 5 perks like they did in Borderlands 2, you know, the ideal situation would be like buff this Laid Bare, buff Wrath, buff Transcend, buff personal space. You see what I'm saying? Like just completely max out. Then have like a bonus right now, since I'm using a torque shotgun, be like you know, shotgun bonus plus 20%. I've seen that before. Or torque damage, you know, 38% or something. I've seen that before. So you could get it right. I mean, this build could be even far better than what I have right now. But, you know, I still got to find this stuff. So it's part of the fun of the game, right? You can't just have it thrown to you. So anyway, this is damage increased by plus 25%. So this is huge. So we're using Phaseslam to get all the bonuses I've talked about so far. Then this one, we just have to make sure we're close enough to where the particular enemy that we're fighting or enemies get affected by the Phaseslam. So if they get hit by Phaseslam, they don't die, which, you know, that's pretty much all bosses. That's where this skill point really comes in handy. So unless you can reach the boss with your Phaseslam, then you're getting plus 25% damage. So that is huge again too. That just stacks everything, you know, again. So pretty nice to have. And then last but not least, I have this. This is not necessary. This doesn't increase, you know, damage. This is just something that's I found is particularly fun with this build for mobbing enemies. We already get the splash damage effect from the torque shotgun, which is nice. So it's not too difficult at all to deal with enemies. You got Phaseslam as well, so that helps. But this is kind of nice because then when you kill an enemy with a gun or your action skill, there's this projectile that comes out, seeks out a new enemy, and then affects them with elemental damage, whatever your action skill elemental damage is. We don't really care about that. What we care about is the overkill damage. So because of this build, you're doing massive amounts of damage. When you're not fighting a badass enemy or a boss, you know, you don't need to, say, have a 93,000 shot from your gun with like a fanatic, you know, the psychos. But what's kind of nice is that because of this perk, say you only needed 2,000 to kill that enemy, well now the extra 90-something thousand or whatever goes into an orb. So I'm not entirely sure how this works. It says any overkill damage, and then I'm not sure if this adds on top of that. I'm thinking it does. So you can get this out, these orbs come out and they just seek out enemies, and it's just, you know, if you do it right, it's just one hit kill. So you're killing one enemy, then the orb comes out, one shots another enemy. You've already probably killed another enemy at that point. Another orb comes out. You can see how it just kind of stacks on top of itself. So it's just a pretty nice perk to have for the build overall. You know, it's not going to help you with bosses per se, but it does help with when you're just mobbing enemies. And that's about it. So yeah, I'm level 40 right now, and with this current setup that I've got going, I've been able to get at least recorded, you know, as of last night or whatever when I was doing this, I was able to get up to, I think it's 94,000, 97,000 was the most I was able to find, at least, you know, with the camera angle and zoom in to kind of see what the damage was. I was testing it here against Troy. I'll show you up on the screen. That was with the shield active, and it was kind of difficult to get it with him. I probably could have tried it with another boss. It's a little bit, doesn't move around quite as much. He's kind of difficult to hit in his head, and he throws out those things that, you know, hit your shield, and this has to be full. So when the shield was full, it was like 94,000, something like that. And then when the shield wasn't up, I was getting, so I think it was about 77,000 per shot. So not too bad, I think, all things considered. You know, I'm not max level, I'm only level 40. So, you know, that can be increased just as, I mean, I'm using a level 34 shotgun here. So that right there, some of you might have already thought, holy cow, like that's pretty low for your level. And it is, but it works. I mean, there's not many regular enemies that can tank a 90-something thousand shot right now. Pretty much none. And like I said, unless they're a boss. And most bosses, I mean, with Troy, if you hit him right, it's like, I don't know if it's 5 or 6 shots and he's dead. I mean, it's kind of tricky to time that shot quite accurately and consistently, but it doesn't take long to kill him at all. So, and he's kind of one of the end game bosses. So we'll see. But that's about it. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm enjoying kind of trying to update this build and make it better as much as I can before maybe delving into some of the other builds that people have out there with Amara. Her elemental build looks pretty fun. I'll probably look into some of that with my second playthrough, but it's just kind of a loot and build update. Hopefully you guys found it pretty enjoyable to see some different ways to build Amara. So just kind of a straight gun build, really fun. Yeah, give it a try if you got the skill points and such, and the iridium to look for some of these weapons. Give it a try, see what you think. If you can think of some ways to improve this, certain equipment, you know, maybe I haven't come across. Like I said, I'm really looking for different guns that have this modifier on it, and I haven't really seen any that are acceptable to me. Because, I mean, this does say, you know, this does 900 something damage, level 34. Let's say there was a level 34, you know, Jacob's pistol that does 200 or 300. So you're like, okay, well, that does less per hit. But because of the fire rate on a Jacob's pistol, you can potentially output more DPS, you know, so that could be potentially better than the shotgun. Not per shot, but just collectively, you know, over time. So if you guys have seen stuff like that, have any ideas to improve this, let me know in the comments below. We can share our collective knowledge. Thank you guys all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like. It really helps me show your support. Subscribe for more Borderlands 3 videos. See you in the next installment.